views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello and welcome to Open. I am Javier Gomez filling in for Darren Jaime. Today we'll update you on what's happening in and around the Bronx. In politics, we'll discuss the latest on the healthcare bill as well as the winner of the Georgia election. Why is the Georgia election important for the people in the Bronx and across the USA? We'll tell you about it. Also, we'll tell you about a program that provides legal aid 24/7 and a community group that is all about volunteering and making a difference. Lastly, summer is around the corner and we'll find out what special events are taking place in city parks near you. All this and much more is headed your way because we are now officially open. Hello everyone, I am Javier E. Gomez. Today is Wednesday, June 21st. We want you to stay connected. You can find us on Twitter at BronxNet TV and Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. As Mayor de Blasio gears up for re-election, Republican lawmakers want to put an end to mayoral control of city schools. At the same time, they want to increase the number of charter schools. State Senate Republicans want to return control of the schools to the Board of Education instead of the mayor. Elected officials, administrators, labor unions, and students have all protested and mainly sided with the mayor. They claim that reverting school control to local boards would cost $1.6 billion over the next 10 years. The mayoral control is set to end on June 30th. In other news, U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer is calling on the Drug Enforcement Administration to launch a special team to battle heroin distribution in New York. According to the City Department of Mental Health, deaths by opioids overdose increased by 46% last year. The Bronx and Staten Island had the highest numbers. The new federal budget includes $12.5 million to launch 4 teams with 42 agents in areas around the country where heroin is a serious problem. Meanwhile, it is official. Amazon will make its way to New York City. This summer, the company is scheduled to open its first distribution center in Staten Island. The Amazon Fulfillment Center will be 1 million square feet and will provide access to shoppers from the 5 boroughs. It will employ 3,000 people. Local store owners are yet to see how the new venture might impact their business. Amazon recently announced a plan to acquire the supermarket chain Whole Foods. On a different subject, the legal smoking age for cigarettes might go up, according to lawmakers. They are sponsoring a bill to raise the age limit to purchase tobacco from 18 to 21. The law is intended to deter tobacco addiction, promote good health, and save on medical expenses caused by smoking-related diseases. The legislation was just reported out of the State Assembly and Senate Health Committees, and they might come up with a vote this week. New York City pools and beaches will stay open for 1 additional week after Labor Day. Last year, 16 million people went to city beaches while nearly 2 million went to outdoor pools. This is the 3rd year of the season's extension for city beaches and the 2nd for city pools. The extension will cost $17 million. Health First and other partners recently held the 2017 Health and Wellness Expo. Their goal was to inform Bronxites about ways to stay healthy during the summer and year-round. Reporter Arlene Mococo has the story.
And wellness was the theme of an all-day festival at the Claremont Houses, organized by Health First and other partners.
The Greater New York Chamber knows that to have healthy businesses and healthy communities, we need a healthy workforce. So when we're teaching our children not only the ABCs and the academics, math, the STEM sciences to become corporate citizens, we want to make sure that there are good jobs for them, and they need the housing, the communities like Claremont, the healthy choices, and that's what will boost our productivity in the long term.
Despite the on-again, off-again showers, crowds would gather at tables here on 3rd Avenue and 170th Street.
We brought this event to the community to educate the community about different sickness. This is one neighborhood with high level of obesity, diabetes, glaucoma, HIV, so many sickness.
Guests were invited to a healthy breakfast and raffle drawings. Dulce Bito won a microwave oven.
This is for healthy. This is for to live with other friends, other neighborhood. Yes, I'm happy today.
Each guest would also sign a promissory note to work out 5 minutes each morning for the next 90 days.
We think starting with 5 minutes a day of exercise is going to make you more conscious of not having that sugary drink, or not having that extra candy bar, or not eating so much fried foods. Because 5 minutes a day for a person who has not exercised is a long time.
Managing your health can be fun. That's the message that Health First wants to get out here, and it's working. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Makoko.
We have to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to our political commentators about the latest in the local and national political landscape.
I'm only 17, but I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family, the first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow.
My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Well, I got this as a paid internship. Spending my time here, I really enjoyed the people that work here. I enjoy what goes on behind the scenes.
So far, I've learned how to operate a camera, how to host. I learned how to control audio.
My first time hosting was really nerve-wracking, but I really enjoyed it because it was a new experience.
Every Monday night at 9, we talk to the borough's movers and shakers about the latest in Bronx politics, education, healthcare, arts and culture, and literally any and everything that's important to the people of the Bronx. There's a reason why Bronxites have been turning to Bronx Talk for more than 20 years, because Bronx Talk is about you and me, the people of the Bronx. So we'll see you Monday night at 9.
Welcome back. You're watching Open. The results of Georgia's special election are in, and the winner is Republican Karen Handel. The Democrats are upset, and to tell us what is this all about, welcome our political experts, J.C. Polanco and Lee Bynes. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good to be back.
It's very early in the morning for me to come work at this hour. I usually work in the evening.
Okay.
So my engine skills are still waking up.
You're doing great.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Now, last night,
yeah,
you saw the elections.
Yeah.
You saw the results. Now, what does it mean? Yes. Let's start with you.
To the average American in the country, to be honest with you, especially here in the Bronx, it means absolutely nothing. No matter who won yesterday, one way or the other, it wasn't going to move the needle in the House of Representatives one iota. The Democrats, even if they did win, they were still going to be a major minority in the party. So for the Democrats and the media as well to stoke the flames of this election to the tune of $50 million spent
The
money coming
most
from all over
expensive election ever,
in
right?
history
For House of Representatives.
For the House of Representatives, but for all of that money to come in from other places, people are upset. From my opinion, I think this was more emotionally driven as opposed to logic and analysis, because if you looked at the situation carefully, you should have been able to see that this Democrat, John
Ossoff.
There you go, forgot him already. Was an outsider. He was playing on the home team's field. While it's true that he did make some gains because that seat had been held for decades, it's definitely a deep red district. But again, I think a lot could have been done with that money other than throw it down a rabbit hole.
Special elections are interesting because they're just a snapshot in time. They're not scheduled. People are not motivated to come out like they're normally scheduled to come out. They know that they come out on election day. So this is one moment in time, almost like a parliamentary election in England, right? Where people will come out and then we try to gauge how much support the president has in a district, and then from there assume that that is how the rest of the country feels. So that's why the $50 million was spent. Smart people will disagree. They think that if we can measure the snapshot of how good the president is doing, how well is he doing in this one election, the problem is this. Georgia 6 is not in any way a microcosm of the United States.
Absolutely
It's
not.
75% Caucasian, mostly college educated. This is one of those districts that is on the outlier of any statistical graph. So to think that that's going to define how the rest of the country's feeling is not good. However, it would have been a feather in the cap of the Democrats to be able to at least win 1 out of the last 4 special elections. And they're gone 0 for 4. So it sends a message that the Democrats are not exactly focused. They don't have a message that resonates, even with a president that is continuously making mistakes.
What are the lessons learned here?
I would say that the Democrats would be wiser than to try and fight Donald Trump on his home ground and stick with coming out with proposals that's going to counter what the Republicans are trying to do. The Democrats, I believe it was Cory Booker yesterday and a couple other senators went up to the Hill and tried to force the Republicans to let them take a look at the health care bill. That was just a stunt. The Democrats also spent time yesterday trying to slow down the entire legislative process by saying, look, we're not going to do anything until we get a chance to see what's happening with the health care bill. Again, it's a stunt. If the Democrats were smart, what they would have been doing yesterday was using that FaceTime that they had to tell the country, look, if there's an issue with jobs coming in here, this is our solution to it. If there's an issue with health care, this is our solution to bringing in. One moment, please.
Wait, you're taking too long. We only have a couple of minutes, and I respect you a great deal, but you got to let me in here. Okay. The reality is this, man. Trump is undefeated. And what the Democrats are learning is that no matter what scandal you have available, Trump is going to continue to win. And yesterday, we learned that Donald Trump is the new Teflon Don. That's what we learned yesterday.
What would be the next major election coming up, even if it is a special election?
I don't think that you can have a major special election that will be indicative of the country. I agree with Lee on that. I agree with Lee on that. There's no major, there's no special election for U.S. Senate as governors make the appointments. So the next big election is going to be 2018, and I think that the Democrats may do well if they play their cards right. But as of right now, they're playing on emotion. I don't know.
So would you say, gentlemen, that this kind of overreaction, kind of Univision telenovela type of approach to politics is more detrimental than anything else?
Well,
causing a lot of fear and confusion out there.
Well, that's how we've been living for the last 6-7 months, and that's how we've been living. I mean, with the partisan divide, as bad as it is, that's what we're working with right now. However, I would have to disagree with JC because a geopolitical analyst, I have to look at the world view on this. And when I looked at the elections that took place in the UK and how badly May was beaten by Jeremy Corbyn, when I look at what happened in France, although Macron won, a centrist, beating out Le Pen, very few people focused on that third guy who was knocked out in the early runnings and didn't get to the final, but his name was Jean-Luc Macron. And he, Macron. And he had captured the same thing, the same essence of what was going on in the Bernie Sanders wing of the party, as well as what Corbyn. These people have grabbed the millennials, and he Bernie Sanders and Jeremy Corbyn may be a harbinger of what's going to happen in 2 to 4 years.
What do we need to heal this massive discontent that seems to be around?
I think that the president has stopped tweeting. I think that the Republicans need to come out and talk about what is happening behind the scenes with the health care bill. I think there needs to be some hearings. I think you need a reset as to how we have discussions in government, because everything is combative now. We're working under secrecy, and I think the American people don't like that. And I think that we may reach a point where there'll be more consensus. But if things stay as they are, you're going to see a divided America. You're going to see a large resistance movement. You're going to see a reluctant Trump base that's going to never give up supporting their president no matter what. And I think we need to come towards the middle somehow. And the only way to do that is through a reset, and it has to happen like now.
I would have to disagree vehemently with that, because the way things are going and the speed with which these investigations are taking place, and the way that the president is handling them, not answering questions, cutting back on press briefings, serious communication problem between himself and his communication crew. I think that based upon how things are going, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to maintain this winning strategy.
We've seen that for the last 2 years, and this man continues to win. And in places that could have been toss-ups or a little closer, he continues to win. So listen, this Russian investigation issue, the communications problems, all of that existed before the special elections. All of that exists, and these Republicans and the Republican message and President Trump continue to win. So I have to tell you, there is something to be said. I've never seen this before. It's what I call him the new Teflon Don. You would think that after all of this, I don't know what you're talking about regarding the Russian investigation, that people would be discontent and come out and vote against his message. Quite the contrary. They come out and support
It's kind of a mentality. It's a mindset.
I don't even know what's going on.
Right,
Like, normally, you would expect
alternative reality. We're living in an alternative reality.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with where and how people are getting their media. People are tuning in to the channels that speak directly to them. There's very, very little real objective news. MSNBC has an angle. Fox has an angle.
But BronxNet does not.
There you go.
Hope that everyone continues to tune into BronxNet.
Gentlemen, before we move on, the healthcare bill, what can we expect there? I mean, it's all secrecy. We don't know. We can speculate.
I don't think that this House bill will be the law of the land. I think that you have a lot of senators, including Senator Lee from Utah, that is very concerned with how this process is taking place. So I don't think you're going to see that House bill actually make it to reality. I do think that we're going to pay the price as a party if it does.
What would you like to see in this bill?
Well, a bill that the president promised, a bill that's going to cover all Americans, a bill that's going to offer a rich set of benefits, a bill that's going to be affordable for everyone with no preconditions to exclude one. And it has to be across the board.
Lee wants
It's
universal
absolutely
healthcare.
well.
That's what he
Well,
wants.
that's the panacea. But whether or not we're going to settle anywhere near it is doubtful. I've said this on many occasions that based upon the political and the economic and the capitalistic system and free market system that we work under, it's absolutely impossible to bring universal health care or anything close to it to America.
Any idea when we can expect some decisions and maybe even just some plain information?
I just think in the next couple of weeks you're going to hear something coming out of Senator McConnell, but I don't think that before that you're going to get any real substance, because there's some real issues here. There's been a movement. There was a time when we thought that healthcare was not a right, but President Obama, what he did was he had the conversation with the country, and even the most reluctant voices are now starting to realize that healthcare may very well be a right. This major shift in ideology is going to be a big one, a big haul to push, and I think this is going to take some time.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's really great to see you, and it's great to have you around.
Uh-huh.
Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Let's take a short break. We'll be right back with Open.
Coming to you from our BronxNet studios, 4 new shows highlighting some of the best of the Bronx has to offer. We sit down with political leaders on In the District and discuss local legislation, events, and issues. See how the community and business come together with The Bronx Now on BronxNet. Nosotros features leaders from a Latino community. Meet those who are moving to make a difference in public service, business, arts, and culture. Looking for new and exciting dining experiences? Then you'll want to savor the Bronx and try new restaurants and eateries that fill the borough with delicious dishes. We have it all, so experience the Bronx in new and fresh ways on BronxNet.
And I can't change, even if I try, even if I wanted to. My love, she keeps me warm. 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 She keeps me warm.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Many New Yorkers who are faced with arrest typically have a hard time finding a lawyer. Well, Good Call provides a free hotline to connect those who have been arrested to a lawyer. And that's just one of the services that Good Call provides. To tell us more, let's welcome Gabriel Litter-Rose and Jelani Anglin, co-founders of Good Call, as well as Aramis Guzman, community manager. Welcome, gentlemen. So basically, Good Call NYC. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so we run a free 24/7 hotline, 8333-GOOD-CALL, that anyone can call if they or a loved one are arrested in the Bronx. We also have a website, goodcall.nyc, where anyone can sign up and save some emergency contact information. When folks are arrested, their cell phones are taken away, and obviously in this day and age, with cell phones, we don't remember any numbers anymore. So we're building this directory to make sure that people can reach their loved ones in case of that emergency and make sure they can be there for each other.
How was the organization formed?
Our four co-founders came together. Jelani's background is in community organizing. Our other co-founders are more in technology, and we wanted to see if there was some sort of tech product that we could make to kind of help address issues in the criminal justice system and in the dynamics between police and community interactions. And so after hearing story after story of people who had been arrested for oftentimes really trivial reasons or no reason at all, unable to get help when they needed it most, unable to reach their loved ones, and then having these issues snowball into much bigger problems. We wanted to make something to provide people the help they needed when they need it, and prevent some of those bigger issues from happening.
Of all the products that you could create, why choose something in criminal justice?
I think this issue is something that needs to be tackled. You know, every day you turn on the TV, you go on Facebook, and you just see police interaction that has gone bad. It's obvious that there's a problem here, you know? And, you know, protesting works, actually trying to petition works, but more can be done. And I think that combining technology and the talents that we have is an opportunity that we can actually really try to confront this problem.
Why are people having issues accessing real, adequate, accessible, and affordable legal representation?
So part of the problem is with the process itself. The way that it exists now, when people don't have access to Good Call, they meet their lawyers for a very short meeting, or their public defenders, I should say, right before they go in front of a judge. And so the public defenders have just gotten a ton of cases, and they're about to go in front of a judge, and so they don't really have the time or the resources to prepare a really strong defense, let alone, you know, get in touch with their clients' loved ones, make sure they can show up, prepare bail, and provide information. And so really the thing that we're trying to change is giving the public defenders more time to prepare these cases, and allowing loved ones to be there to support, and so we can actually use this kind of earlier point of intervention to provide better support and make sure people aren't going to jail for the wrong reasons.
Would you say that the ability to access a legal and affordable representation can actually affect the outcome of a case?
Absolutely, you know, and this is the reason why we're here. The idea is, and a lot of the times, you know, even when we have these encounters, you know, we kind of hit this freeze mode, and, you know, we really don't know what to do when we're actually in this encounter. So we built this vehicle, is what I like to call it, or this system, to be able to have people to be more comfortable and more relaxed. Something easy to remember, 8333, good call. It's something that'll come up really fast in your brain in a situation where you have to make that phone call. And in the poverty areas where usually these encounters mostly happen, that's what is usually going on. And a lot of the times we don't know our rights and we don't know exactly how to represent ourselves. So we're here just to make sure that you have someone to give you that representation, to know that you can be safe in any situation that you may encounter. And again, it's very simple to remember, 8333, good call.
Gentlemen, what is the impact of the emotional component of an arrest circumstance and the confusion that comes with it, the shame that comes with it? How does it impact?
That can damage just about anyone. Of course, if you're not familiar with the system, or if you've never experienced that, that can be emotionally, spiritually, physically, and even economically damaging to you. You have individuals who they don't have these contacts, or they don't have these individuals who can represent them, and they don't have anyone to make a phone call for them to let someone know at the job, hey, look, listen, I'm not going to be able to make it, And the idea, again, is, and it's very important, and I always recommend all of our people who are going to sign up to always sign up 3 people minimum. I like to refer to Russian roulette when you're making that one phone call. You're gambling with your life when you're making this one phone call that you have the right to make, at the precinct. Don't rely on a number that you think you will remember. Allow us to do all of that for you. We have that system for you. When you call us, we'll ask you for your password. Once you put the password in, we'll bring it up in a database. We'll go ahead and send out those text messages to your loved ones. Again, I recommend 3 minimum. And, let those chess pieces work for you.
Do people need to register in advance for the contact information to their loved ones?
So the hotline can work in 2 ways. You can call the hotline no matter what and be connected to a legal service provider. However, there's additional value by going to our site at goodcall.nyc, and you can actually save an emergency contact, so that in that emergency situation, while you're on the phone with the lawyer can actually alert a loved one on that same call. And that's what Aramis was referring to, was saving an emergency contact, and recommending that you save 3. Because, arrests happen sometimes in the wee hour of the morning, and sometimes mom may not pick up at 3 a.m. So being able to just branch out and send out as many alerts as possible is really helpful. However,
when was the program started?
About 8 months ago.
And how is it working out?
It's good. It's great. We wanted to intentionally sort of keep it small when we were starting out because we're dealing with such a high stakes issue. We couldn't afford to make mistakes. But we have been working with groups like the Bronx Defenders and Legal Aid Society, who have been incredible partners. We've really been able to kind of test the process, test the software, and we've had some really powerful success cases of folks actually calling the hotline, getting the help when they needed it, and that really making a difference in kind of the outcome of their experience. And so now, based on that information, we kind of have the confidence to really take this to the next level. And so this summer, we're launching our Good Summer campaign that Jelani can talk a little bit about, to really make sure that everyone in the Bronx knows that this is a resource, they're signed up, and to make sure that we can all be there to protect ourselves and each other this summer.
Now guys, how do you finance the program?
So we originally came out of an accelerator called Blue Ridge Labs that's based in Brooklyn that helps start kind of tech companies that are solving problems faced by low-income New Yorkers specifically. But we're also currently fundraising, looking for new partners, and we want to take this eventually beyond the Bronx to cover all of New York City and eventually expand nationally so we can make sure everyone in the country can get the support they need.
Is there any way that people can help, people watching at home or in their tablets?
Yes. So, Javier, this is very important. We are launching our Good Summer campaign today. First day of summer. This campaign is focused on defending our youth. We want to make sure that the youth are aware of this resource. So we are branching out all over the Bronx. And you're going to see folks with the Good Call shirts on. You're going to see us at local events. And we're making sure that we give folks these cards with the number on it, and also stop with a Good Call representative and sign up and save an emergency contact. The summer is supposed to be a time of fun and enjoyment, and we don't want our youth to fall victim to the criminal justice system. So we're saying that folks can get involved by going to goodcall.nyc and saving an emergency contact. Also, by just sharing our social media, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook at Good Call NYC. We're going to be putting out posts and infographics about the criminal justice system. Share the information, share the number, just get the word out there because we want to make sure that we could defend our youth this summer and keep everyone safe.
Thank you, Natiman, and congratulations on the program.
Thank you so much.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent. We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
My name is Osvaldo Adames. I grew up in the Bronx and went to school right here at the Bronx School for Law, Government, and Justice. In the 7th grade, I hadn't given college that much thought. But all of that changed when I entered the Bronx Institute at Lehman College's Gear Up program. Gear Up helped simplify the entire college application process, helping me prepare for the SATs and organizing college visits and open houses. Last year, I graduated from Hamilton College in upstate New York with a major in mathematics and a minor in Mandarin Chinese. Now, I'm a teacher at my old middle school. I think back to 7th grade, and I honestly had no idea how much help Gear Up would be. They offered me the support I needed to succeed. If you're enrolled in Gear Up, talk to your academic coach or visit the Bronx Institute at www.thebronxinstitute.org for more information.
ParentJob.net celebrated parents at the 2017 graduation. Many had the chance to express their gratitude to their school. Reporter Kadia Loy-Knight has the story.
Day for the parents that attended the classes at ParentJob.net, right at PS 57. And it's also a celebration of 12 years of connecting parents with opportunities that will change their lives.
The purpose of us is really to help parents in public school, help them educate them, connect them, and prepare them for work.
Over the span of 12 years, ParentJob.net has helped 12,500 parents, and these are the classes that they offer.
Job readiness, financial literacy, computer training, entrepreneurship, networking events. It is a holistic programming that we offer public school parents. We're the only nonprofit organization working in public schools doing what we're doing. And right now we're working in the East Harlem public schools because we feel East Harlem is really in great need of our program.
Graduates spoke about their struggles, especially with speaking the English language and the difficulties of finding a job. Valedictorian Lillian Harris had a change in her path when she visited ParentJob.net.
The feeling is so much out of this world. I feel like I'm sitting on top of the world. You know, I feel like I'm a member of society. I started writing a book, and the title of my book is When I See Jesus. And the reason why I picked that title, because my life, I was brought up in the church under Pentecostal strictness, you know, but I strayed away. But God, he brought me back, and I'm glad because I didn't die out there in my sins. You know, I got a second chance.
And a second chance to a better life it was for these graduates.
I thank you, ParentJob.net, to give me the chance to do the speech, and I'm so excited and I'm so happy of and so proud of myself.
I'm trying to become a computer assistant, clerical work, doing like, helping people doing filing on the computer and stuff like that. Something to support me and my kids and stuff like that. I'm a single mother, so it's very hard for me to raise them, but I got my family to support, and stuff like that, and the job net.
I built the skills and the experience that I did not have in the past. They are great in teaching you and preparing you for the future for employment.
The chief operating officer at Parent JobNet was a former student who picked up the skills he needed for a better job.
I was laid off at one point in my life and came to Parent JobNet. I heard about them through my daughter's school and came to one of their networking events at Starbucks and was connected with them at that point. And they actually did find a job for me.
At Parent JobNet, parents get the opportunity to get personalized career advice and job opportunities. To learn more about this program, visit their website, parentjobnet.org. For BronxNet, I am Katie Loy-Knight.
Thank you, Kadia, for the story. Celebrating 30 years of volunteerism, New York Cares has impacted the lives of thousands of people. To tell us more about the organization's legacy to empower community, we welcome Nick Mason.
Hi, thanks so much, Javier, for having me.
Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us this early in the morning.
Sure.
30 years.
Yes.
Nick.
Yes.
Wow. So tell us a little bit, how are you celebrating in any special way? Anything special going on?
Sure. Well, we don't have any big special events necessarily. But
Everything you do is big and special.
Yes, definitely. No, we're super excited to have been around for 30 years, and we kind of are sitting back now in awe, looking back at our impact, and it's easy to see everything that we've done together with Caring New Yorkers over the last 30 years. But actually now we actually kicked off on Friday, which was our birthday, June 16th. 1987, June 16th is when we incorporated. We kicked off our fundraising campaign. And so basically what we're trying to do is raise awareness as well as raising funds to support the next 30 years.
In terms of funding, what is do you have a goal of funding you need to come up with?
There's a bit of a story to our fundraising goal.
Go right ahead.
So our goal is $230,341.
That's not a lot of money, Nick.
Sure, but it is $1 for every single oriented volunteer who has worked with us or volunteered on a New York Cares program over the last 30 years. So to us, it's a special number. It's something that we hope to achieve. And if you want to, please, we urge you to go online, visit newyorkcares.org/30 to donate. Or if you're too hip for that, you can text NYCares to 41444 to
Just
donate.
$1 at a time. That's all it takes.
Yeah, sure. But of course, we do welcome donations larger than $1. So.
Now, how are these monies used?
Well, of course, being a nonprofit organization as well, of course, we work with nonprofits. We do use donations. We rely on donations to keep the lights on, but volunteer projects aren't free. We do, it does cost money to make these projects happen, whether that means supplies that go to the elementary school where we send volunteers, or supplies for volunteers to use to clean up a park on New York Cares Day spring or something like that.
What is the background of the organization?
Well, I guess I could tell you a little bit of the history about how it happened. So 30 years ago, it was a group of maybe like 10, 20-somethings who all worked full-time, who were sitting around an apartment and thought to themselves, they saw a lot of poverty in their city.
It was a critical moment for New York. It was the peak of the AIDS era, the crack era. Crime was rampant.
Oh yeah, they saw a lot of critical needs throughout the city. And there was nobody to do anything about it. There were lots of gaps they saw in populations in critical issue areas. And they realized that the only way to address a lot of those problems were to organize themselves. And so they did. So they started to organize small volunteer projects, just a few people at a time, their friends telling their friends. And before long, a few years later, everyone was receiving paper calendars in their mailboxes with volunteer projects in all 5 boroughs. And cut to 30 years later, now we're the largest volunteer management organization in all of New York City. We have partners with over 1,300 nonprofit organizations and public schools in all 5 boroughs. On average, we run about 1,600 volunteer projects a month. So we were able to do a tremendous amount of good, and it all started with just a small group of people who noticed a critical issue and decided to want to do something about it.
What are some of the volunteering projects that you have going on? What areas?
Oh my gosh. Our 3 issue areas are revitalization of public spaces, immediate needs, so hunger, homelessness, things like that, as well as education. Education is probably our largest issue area. And I know it's summertime now, so kids are either out of school now or just about to get out of school. So parents are probably thinking like, gosh, I don't want to think about school right now, but we're always thinking forward and we're looking to the fall. And so we're actually already recruiting for volunteers for our fall programs. So that's anything from our free SAT tutoring that we offer to high schoolers in New York City, as well as FAFSA programs to help people find the financial aid they need to go to the colleges they want.
Why should people volunteer in this day and age?
You know, over the last 30 years, New York Cares has kind of become a symbol of the spirit and resilience that New Yorkers have. I mean, we see huge surges in volunteerism around catastrophes, so 9/11, Hurricane Sandy, things like that. We saw thousands of New Yorkers rise up, but there are critical issues that we see throughout our city every single day. And I mean, I think it's something like 47% of New Yorkers live at or below the poverty line. And with numbers like that, knowing how many people rely on community services like food pantries and shelters, there is a gap that needs to be filled, and the only people that can fill that are New Yorkers, caring New Yorkers, the same 230,000 people we have relied on over the last 30 years to rise up, walk out of your apartment and address the needs that you see.
So you say that we all have a responsibility toward building community and pretty much contributing.
I mean, I think so. I think that there's a huge need for a reconnection, for people to acknowledge where they live and what communities they are a part of, because I think it's easy for people to be kind of locked away, I guess, with social media and the internet, and it's easy for people to not realize where they are. It's exciting to live in New York City, and we have so many people moving to the city every single day. But when you get here, a great way to actually learn about your city, or if you've lived here for your entire life, to learn about where you're from, is to volunteer and actually see how everyone lives.
You have touched on a very important point, reconnection.
Oh, yeah.
How much of a serious is when everyone is just looking down into the little phone, the little tablet, or with their iPhones on?
I mean, there's a little part of me that loves it, because I work in media. I actually manage the social media for New York Cares. So if you want to go online and find out about our special events, please do so.
Yes.
We're on all the platforms, but it does disconnect people from one another.
So especially we need to start teaching about volunteering early on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we actually run a lot of programs that are just for if you're 18 years or older. It's primarily all of our volunteer opportunities are for high school age kids or older. But we do have a few programs that are youth volunteering. For example, during our annual days of service, there are ways to get youth groups to go together to help revitalize a park or something like that. But it's definitely a message that I would say you should share with the younger individual, and let them know that it is important to get involved. So show them what you do.
Is there something special about the reward and the gratification of volunteering?
Well, yeah.
It's not financial compensation, but
no,
it
but it does. So in addition to volunteerism being great for the people who are the recipients of the service, the clients, there's also, I think, a transformation that happens within the heart of the individual who is volunteering. I think it allows you to connect. Remember that the way that you live in the city is not the way that everyone else lives in the city, and making that connection can absolutely transform you. It's you get hooked on volunteering. I mean, we have people who've contributed thousands of hours of volunteering over the last 30 years.
And how does it work, Nick? Basically, if I want to volunteer, I give you guys a call or go to their website, and you'll help me find a volunteering opportunity that suits me or my interests?
Yeah, so New York Cares is absolutely the way to volunteer. It's the easiest method of going about volunteering in all of New York City. So you visit our website, newyorkcares.org, you log on and register to volunteer. We actually have a unique little portion to our model, and immediately after registering, you sign up for a volunteer orientation. So we don't send volunteers to projects where they're going to be confused, they don't know what's going on, they don't know how to behave, what's going on. We make sure that everyone we send to these partner agencies is oriented and prepared to contribute the service that we know the partner needs. So after your volunteer orientation, you go back online and volunteer and you can register online for any volunteer project. I mean, there are literally thousands of volunteer projects on our website daily, and sometimes they disappear in like hours because we've got people like waiting for things to go online, and they fill up really quickly.
You have mentioned tutoring for the SATs exams as one of the examples, but in the last few seconds that we have, what are some other examples of volunteering assignments that people find popular?
Well, people love working with kids, which is great. People also love revitalizing parks, especially during the summer when it's beautiful. You know, unfortunately, when only a fraction of the city's funding goes to revitalizing parks, we would love for volunteers to get out in the parks and help clean them up and make them a great place for everyone to spend the summer.
Thank you, Nick. New York Care's 30th anniversary.
Yes.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much.
Let's take another break. We'll be right back with Open. If you want to stay in the know about the latest happenings in Español, check out Diálogo Abierto, BronxNet's own Spanish show, Wednesdays 6:30 p.m. on Channel 67. The latest in news, arts, culture, politics, and what's going on in your neighborhood. Diálogo Abierto, the best way to stay connected in Spanish. See you there. Te esperamos.
See the problems of the past to overcome together the challenges of the future. Presenting the first MC, the 21st century Vitruvian man with the message, Grandmaster Melly.
You gotta learn your body, pace yourself, and have fun. So let's go have fun. Let's go do it. The tricky thing about shoulders, your shoulders is a 3-tier muscle. You have your front delts, you have your rear delts, and you have your mid delts. So when you're working out your shoulders properly, you have to do 3 different exercises.
It's wonderful being able to compete with a lot of these young guys from all over the world. It's important to stay in shape.
This is why you took a second job. While you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing. While you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE today.
New York State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli celebrated Caribbean Heritage Month by honoring prominent Caribbean leaders. Reporter Arlene Mokoko was there, and she brings us the following story.
Never have thought sitting on my grandmother's veranda in Jamaica, in St. Elizabeth, which is a rural section of Jamaica, that one day I would be in the halls of Congress representing the community in which I was born and raised.
The Honorable Yvette Clarke, daughter of the first Caribbean-born elected leader to serve on the New York City Council, was among those honored by New York State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli at his Caribbean Heritage Month reception at the Metropolitan College of New York in Lower Manhattan.
Whatever country you come from, whatever wave of immigration you're a part of, you're what makes New York great, and that's what we're celebrating, in this case, the Caribbean community.
Also honored, Guyanese-born Barati Kimraj, a community liaison with the Office of the Bronx Borough President, who talked about her years growing up in the Bronx.
I just remember all the memories of first coming here to the Bronx, and it was such an amazing experience because I came with my 2 sisters, and now there's 6 of us. So I'm one of 6 children. My parents are here, my grandparents, my dad's a Hindu priest, and we haven't lost our roots.
Also honored posthumously, Guyanese-born Detective Randolph Holder, whose father and fiancé were there to accept an award on his behalf. Promoted to detective after his death, Holder died in the line of duty in 2015 while chasing a suspect.
He's deserving of every accolade that he's received.
And he was, like I said, an exceptional police officer, but an even better man, an even better person, and we miss him every single day.
With many issues still up for debate, tonight was a night to celebrate the many accomplishments already made here in this community. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Makoko.
The school year is almost over and many families will be looking for fun outdoor activities. To tell us all that is happening at Bronx Parks this summer, we welcome Bronx Parks Commissioner Iris Rodriguez Rosa.
Absolutely. Javier, it's a pleasure to see you again.
It's
always.
great to see you again as well. A couple of months ago, actually, we had a fantastic show in Diálogo, the Spanish language public affairs show. It was at the peak of winter, actually, and you were plowing snow. You came to the show in the middle of the day with your vest on, and you were giving us a preview of what you were doing to prepare the parks. But showtime is now.
Yes.
Today is the first day of summer.
Yes, it is.
So, Commissioner,
you
take the floor.
Absolutely.
What do you have for us?
So we have an amazing array of things that are happening in the parks. And people think that we just do parks, but we do a lot of programming in our parks. And I'm so excited to be able to share with you and to share with the Bronx community all the many things that the Parks Department has and it hosts many. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you for the children, we have puppet shows. We have many puppet shows that are going on throughout the borough of the Bronx, throughout the city actually, but throughout the borough of the Bronx, we have several parks where children can come and have puppet shows. We also have movies under the stars, we call it. Most of them start at like 8:30 in the evening, but we have a variety of the parks in the borough of the Bronx that are going to be hosting movies like Selena, the movie Sing, family-friendly movies. So we're excited.
Now, Commissioner, are people encouraged to actually bring the little blankets, the little basket with their fruit?
Absolutely. Bring a chair,
and
bring a basket, bring the water, and especially, you know, it gets a little humid and things like that. So we want people to be, hydrated. So we want to make sure that you come and enjoy the movies. The mayor's office has been able to fund some movie vans. So please look at our website and look at a movie near you.
And the screenings happen at sunset.
Yes. Yes, at about 8:30 in the evening. One of the other things that we have mobile recreation vans, where we have recreation vans that have games for the children to be able to enjoy. So please look at our website as well. We have many recreational vans that are going throughout the parks in the city as well. If you want to request a mobile recreation van, you can go onto our website and apply for a recreation van as well.
What are some of the activities that are provided by the van?
Oh, the van, we have table games, we have arts and crafts, we have all kinds of hula hoops and things like that the children can enjoy. We also have a fitness mobile where they can do some fitness activities also, so they can apply for that as well. So this is wonderful. And we also have arts, culture, and fun special events that we have throughout the borough where people can perform their small little concerts, performances that are happening throughout the borough as well. So again, I encourage people to be able to take part in many of the activities that we have in the parks. Not only do we do events ourselves, but we also host many of the events because people apply to have health fairs, to have family days in our parks. So please go onto our website and see the many activities that are going on.
The entire calendar is posted there?
Pretty much, yes.
Now, are there any admission fees for these events or for some?
No, they're wonderful, absolutely free. All the events that we offer are absolutely free. And we also have what we call Summer Stage, where we have actually some very big artists that are coming in. Like, for example, we have La India, Andy Montañez. We have many wonderful artists that Summer Stage, the City Parks Foundation, has been able to obtain funds to be able to provide these performances to our parks. Primarily, it's in St. Mary's Park and in Cretono Park. So I also ask people to go to our website to see the many wonderful performances there to be.
Commissioner, let's take a few minutes to go over some of the Bronx hottest parks. And I know that you don't like to single them out because for you, all of them are important. But it's impossible not to talk about Orchard Beach. What's happening there this summer?
Well, we are going to have, we expect to have the concert series with the Borough President's Office. They always have the ability to be able to provide performances for us during the summer in the stage. And as you know, this administration and the state legislature, they have been able to appropriate $50 million to be able to develop the pavilion, hopefully in years to come. So we're looking forward to that.
A beautiful building. Yes, it's a jewel.
Absolutely. We opened the beaches on Memorial Day weekend, so people are coming in. You know, the weather has been a little bit iffy here and there, things like that, but we've had some wonderful hot days that people have been coming out. We have over 1 million visitors during the course of any summer coming to our beach at Orchard Beach. And of course, as was mentioned earlier, the beach have been extended to September 10th, so an additional week, the beaches and pools will be open and available.
Will Barreto Point Park reopen with the outdoor floating pool?
Yes, we're looking forward to it. As a matter of fact, I'll be there on the opening day on June 29th to open up the pool personally.
Any other programs going on in other parks like Van Cortlandt?
Oh, yes. No, we have performances and activities that are going on. We just hosted the Philharmonic last week, which was wonderfully attended. And we also encourage people to be able to come out and visit the museums that we have, Van Cortlandt Museum, to come out there and do that as well. But we also want to tell the people to be safe, okay? We want people to be out in the parks and be hydrated, make sure that you're doing well, be safe. When you go to the beaches, make sure that you have sunscreen. We also introduced a sunscreen machine that we have there, so that we're actually providing, for the first time, we're providing sunscreen for the population as well. So we want people to be safe, and when they go into the water, we want people to make sure that they monitor the children. It's safety first. We want to make sure, and also be in the sections where the lifeguards are. You must be there.
Something that struck me, Commissioner, when I met you a few months ago was how broad and complex the Bronx Parks operation is. Can you give us an overview about how is the Bronx Parks Department structured? How many people do you have?
Well, we have almost 400 employees in the borough on an annual basis, and then seasonally we hire additional lifeguards, people to be able to manage and monitor the pools and the beaches. So we have an array of people, seasonal employees that we have to increase the population of employees to be able to do the work that we have in the summer, because of course the summer is when our people are using our parks as a staycation. So we always encourage, and the operations, we have the operations division and the beach operations, the maintenance of the parks. And again, we also encourage the population to please, take the trash with them and help us maintain our parks clean. And saying that also, we want volunteers. We always want volunteers. And I know you had New York Cares here just before me, and they're wonderful partners with us in the parks, but we also want to have friends of parks. We also want to develop the community feel of your neighborhood park. So we always encourage people to be able to come out and volunteer with us, and also to take care of the parks in the neighborhood, because it's their jewel.
Thank you, Commissioner, for joining us today, and have a great summer. We'll see you at Orchard Beach.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. We've come to the end of our program. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned to BronxNet TV and BronxNet.org for this and other editions of Open and more programs made in and about the Bronx. I'll see you every Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. on Channel 67 for Diálogo Abierto, the Spanish language public affairs program on BronxNet Television. I am Javier E. Gomez, and it has been a pleasure to be here today. See you soon.
We are there, day one, with baby names and a gift that lasts a lifetime. We are there as you grow, protecting you and those you love. And we are there as you start your next chapter. We are with you through life's journey. We are Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. Get to know us at socialsecurity.gov.
This video produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.